The family row at my wedding was completely empty. Not a single face I recognized. Not my dad, not my mom, not my sister. Just empty white chairs with little bows tied on them, mocking me in silence. And you know what my dad me that morning? "We'll celebrate with you later, sweetheart." Promise. Later, they chose a Maldives vacation. White sand beaches, coconut drinks, Instagram photos, over watching their daughter walk down the aisle. And my sister? She texted me a laughing emoji. An actual laughing emoji. While I was standing in my wedding dress. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I didn't call them screaming. I smiled, put my phone face down, and I walked down that aisle alone. Because I had already made a decision that day, quietly, legally, and completely, that they would never see coming. They thought abandoning me was consequence-free. They had no idea I was already holding the one thing they'd spend the next 2 months desperately begging me for. If you've ever been the person your family only remembers when they need something, hit subscribe, because this channel exists for you. And stay with me, because what happens next made my dad go completely silent for the first time in his life. My name is Claire, and I need to tell you about the day I realized my family never actually loved me. They just loved having me available. I'm the older daughter, the responsible one, the one who showed up to every birthday, every graduation, every hospital visit without being asked twice. I drove 4 hours in a snowstorm to sit with my mom after her knee surgery. I lent my dad $3,000 when his car transmission died, money I'd saved from double shifts at the hospital where I worked as a medical billing coordinator. I never asked for it back. I figured family didn't keep score. That was my first mistake, believing they operated the same way I did. My sister Danielle is 4 years younger, and she has always been, without any subtlety whatsoever, my parents' favorite. I'm not saying that out of bitterness. I'm saying it because my own mother once said, out loud at a Thanksgiving table full of relatives, "Danielle just has a spark that's hard to explain." Like I was the before photo and Danielle was the after. Danielle didn't work a stable job. She freelanced in content creation, which mostly meant my parents subsidized her rent while she posted beach photos. She was charming and loud and magnetic, and my parents orbited her like she was their personal son. I was just the reliable one, the one you call when something needs handling, the one you forget when something fun is happening. I met my husband Daniel at work. He was quiet, steady, funny in a dry way that took you a few seconds to catch. We dated for 3 years before he proposed, down on one knee in our apartment kitchen, pasta boiling on the stove, our dog barking at absolutely nothing. It was imperfect and completely us. I called my mom first. She said, "Oh, how wonderful," and then immediately pivoted to telling me Danielle had just booked a brand deal. I told myself it didn't sting. I was lying to myself. We planned the wedding for 11 months. A Saturday in April. Small venue, 70 guests, outdoor ceremony if the weather held. Daniel's family was warm and enthusiastic. His mom cried happy tears at the engagement dinner. Mine showed up 40 minutes late and spent most of it on their phones. But they confirmed attendance. All 3 of them. Confirmed. RSVP cards returned. Meals selected. Hotel rooms booked under the family block. I had proof in writing. What I didn't have yet was any idea what they were secretly planning behind my back. 3 weeks before my wedding, Danielle announced she was going to the Maldives. Not a quick trip. 10 days. Luxury overwater bungalow. The kind with a glass floor panel so you can watch fish swim beneath you while you eat breakfast. She'd won some kind of influencer contest. Free stay, flights included, but only if she went on a specific date window. That date window swallowed my wedding whole. I waited for my parents to say the obvious thing. "Danielle, you'll have to reschedule, or go after." I waited for someone to be the adult in the room. Instead, My dad called me on a Tuesday evening, voice casual like he was discussing the weather, and said, and I want you to hear exactly how he phrased this. We think we're going to go support Danielle on this trip. It's a big opportunity for her career. You understand, right? You and Daniel are solid. You don't need us there the same way. I went completely silent. He filled the silence with, we'll celebrate with you when we're back. We'll do a dinner. It'll be special. I said, very quietly, okay, Dad. And I hung up. I sat on my bathroom floor for about 20 minutes. Not ugly crying, just that hollow, airless feeling when something you always suspected gets finally confirmed out loud. I wasn't shocked. I was just done. Something closed inside me that night, cleanly and permanently, like a door with a good lock. Daniel found me on that bathroom floor and didn't say a word. He just sat next to me, shoulder to shoulder, until I was ready to stand up. When I stood up, I had already decided. See, here's what my family didn't know. What nobody knew, except Daniel and our attorney. 6 months earlier, my maternal grandmother had passed away. She and I were close, genuinely close. Sunday phone calls, handwritten letters close. She didn't trust banks and she didn't trust drama. So quietly, privately, she had transferred the deed to her paid-off house directly to me, 2 years before she died. Not split between the family, just me. She told me, you're the one who actually showed up, Claire. This is yours. My parents knew a house existed in the estate. They assumed it would be divided. They had no idea the transfer had already happened legally, 2 years prior, clean, recorded, untouchable. That house was worth $340,000. My parents had been casually mentioning for months that they were counting on grandmother's estate settling soon to help cover their retirement gap. My dad had even forwarded me a link to a retirement condo community once, offhand, like it was already decided. It was never theirs. It was never going to be theirs. But I had stayed quiet, because I'm not cruel. I wasn't going to rip that rug out for no reason. Then, they skipped my wedding for a beach vacation, and my sister texted me a laughing emoji in my wedding dress. Reason found. The wedding came. Daniel and I got married surrounded by people who actually loved us. His mother cried through the entire ceremony. Our friends danced until the venue turned the lights on. It was genuinely, completely beautiful. My family was posting sunset photos with cocktails in their hands. When they returned, tanned and relaxed, my dad called to arrange that celebration dinner he'd promised. I didn't answer. He called again. I didn't answer. Then Danielle's wedding announcement dropped. She'd gotten engaged on the trip, surprise proposal, the whole performance. And suddenly, my phone was exploding. Come to the engagement party. Come to the bridal shower. We're family, Claire. You have to be there. 2 months of silence from me. And suddenly, I was essential again. My dad finally left a voicemail that actually cracked, voice tight, controlled, saying they needed to discuss grandmother's estate, that the family had assumed things would be handled fairly, and that they hoped I wasn't holding on to unnecessary bitterness. I listened to that voicemail twice. Then I had my attorney send a single letter. No anger, no long explanation. Just the recorded deed transfer, the date, the clean legal language, and one line at the bottom that my attorney and I had crafted very carefully. The property has already been sold. The proceeds have been received. There is nothing further to discuss. I never attended Danielle's wedding. I never responded to the dinner invitations. I took that $340,000, paid off Daniel's and my mortgage completely, and put the rest in a fund for the family we're going to build. Just the two of us, his family, and the people who showed up when it actually mattered. My dad called one final time, 6 weeks later. I let it go to voicemail. He never left one. Some doors, once you close them right, don't ever need to be opened again. And honestly, I've never slept better in my life.